Good morning. I have a message or a word to share with you all. As I was preparing myself for school this morning, I'm at school right now. God spoke to my heart, Jesus spoke to my heart concerning the devastation, that we are experiencing in the world. And He stilled my heart with this word. He said, "Daughter, when sin abounds, grace abounds much more." And so I thought about that. That means when all this destruction that we see is taking place, sin, the evil deeds, these evil actions that is producing all this mass violence and murders and senseless acts, God's grace increases even the more. I just want to speak to you to tell you the love of God and the grace of God and what has already been accomplished through Christ Jesus, which is salvation, deliverance, and freedom. And through Christ, the power that we can obtain if we believe that He accomplished our problem, which is this sin problem, the evil problem, the heart problem. He accomplished that problem through the cross, dying a death that we were supposed to die, suffering a punishment that we were supposed to suffer, so that we could be free from what we're experiencing now and being reconciled unto God and obtaining and possessing authority over what we see now, which is the devastation and the chaos. Also, to understand that our enemy is not the flesh and blood enemy. It's so easy to point to the flesh and blood enemy, the attacker that is committing these evil deeds. But God wanted me to expand my scope of thinking, my perspective, my awareness, and see how He sees it. Sister, you have to factor in. You too have to factor in and realize, whether you believe it or not, that there is spiritual components in play. You have the dark world versus the light world. You have good versus evil. There is an enemy at present, and the enemy is not human. It's not the black man. It's not the white man. It's not the enemies that we see with our five senses. But there's a spiritual world. The Word of God says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. I'm going to keep saying that because the enemy is not flesh and blood. The enemy are unseen powers, unseen dark, evil, ruling, sadistic powers in the heavenly realms, in the spiritual world that is affecting and permeating our world, influencing our minds, causing us to commit these actions. And so God was saying how we can no longer, the people of God, and just even declaring this message that we cannot fight this ground warfare with earthly weapons, that the evil that we see can only be counteracted by prayer. It can only be counteracted by the Word of God. It can only be achieved and diverted through God's people getting in a position of prayer and decreeing and declaring the Word of God. What God's Word says, that we are more than conquerors, that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, that this war that we're wrestling against is spiritual and not physical, and that how we are supposed to be reigning in His righteousness, that we are supposed to be walking truths and walking lights of His Word, that we are supposed to be the representation of what Christ was when He walked the earth, that we are supposed to exude that same behavior and not take on the mindset of the world, but come out of that of the world, not literally physically come out, but do no longer be molded and conformed to the thought processes, because God says that it's higher. We have to shift our attention from all that we see, and not focus on this physical, sensual world that is controlled by the five senses. But there's that sixth sense in place, and God is trying to move and his people. But we have to get in a position of faith. We have to understand that God's word is true, and we have to act on the word. We have to recognize our authority, our power, and that weapon is prayer. That's the only thing that is going to move and cause real change. So, to just sum this all up, God is not moved. He knows what's going on. We are living in biblical prophecy. And we must pray.